Welcome back, Tiger fans, Tiger people. We're here with the Essendon review, and geez, what a couple of weeks of footy it's been. I didn't get any videos out last week, had a lot of stuff going on, but we're back, and I guess the biggest news in that time after the Hawthorn win was finals are now locked in. We were safe heading into the Essendon game, which is fantastic. There were certain stages of the year I definitely didn't see us making the top 8, but we got there, which is a massive, massive relief, and I guess continuing that momentum into finals. We had a massive win over Essendon on the weekend, which I'll touch on right now. I guess the biggest takeaway was it's hard to review these sorts of games when it was pretty one-sided. It was a bit of a blowout, obviously very exciting, easy to watch, but not a lot to discuss because of how dominant we probably were. I mean, I think we didn't play our best footy, but I think that was it almost seemed deliberate, like we weren't going too hard, but we were doing just enough to work on our skills and all the rest of it. And I don't want to disrespect Essendon, but it felt a bit like a training drill at times, which, you know, does that say a lot about us or a lot about them? I'm not sure, but I thought we still looked in pretty good shape. And let me just start off by saying, and the biggest news I've taken out of the weekend is Tom Lynch is okay. His groin is all right. We all got a little bit scared. He kicked 5 on the weekend and went off with a sore groin, and we saw the ice, and I think everyone was, oh, God. But he's going to be all right, which is enormous. He's in such good form at the moment. And there's a lot of players in that as well. But I think since he's come back, he's kicked 4, 8, and 5. Like, I mean, he's no one can really stop him at the moment. His kicking has been fantastic. He's not missing those easy ones that we've seen him do in the past. And I think he's got that confidence at the moment, which is exactly what we need heading forward into finals. But again, scoring was through the roof. I'm pretty sure we're the number 1 or number 2 team in the competition for scoring. We scored 140. We had 20 or 21 goals, which is massive. We shared the load around as well. Titch kicked 3. Cumberland kicked 3. I think Jack might have had 1 potentially. And then obviously Lynch kicked his 5. So we had a lot. It was shared around a fair bit, which was good. We led on the night in disposals, inside 50s. Contested possession, intercepts, 1%ers, just to name a few of those. And I guess some of the stand-up performances for me was Shane Edwards, who was back to his absolute best on the weekend. He kicked 3 goals, classic Shane Edwards type goals as well, especially that one, roved off the pack, kicked it right on the goal line. I mean, we've seen that so many times over the years from him. And I guess, speaking of Shane Edwards, I didn't get to do this last week due to the lack of video being released, but I want to touch on it now, and it's better late than never. But Shane Edwards, I don't remember being this upset about a retirement or a player leaving the Tigers since Richo or even Brett Delidio when he went to the Giants. I was shattered with both of those boys, and I don't really remember supporting Richmond without Shane Edwards in the team. He's been one of those players that's always been around. I remember when he had his long hair, and back at the time, I used to play junior footy. I had the number 10 on my back, and I had long hair as well, so I always used to think I was Shane Edwards out there, and especially when he played, you know, up forward sometimes, and I consider myself a little small forward, so I used to just love watching Shane Edwards on around. He's so sleek with his hands, elite foot skills, and extremely, extremely underrated in basically his entire career, right up until, I guess, we became successful as a club, and he got his All-Australian recognitions, etc., and he's just been an absolute talent for us, builds the culture, especially with our Indigenous players. You can see that he really leads from the front with that, and he's been around for so long now. All the boys love him. The fans love him, and he's one of those players that you want in your side every week. So it's going to be very different, very weird not having him around next year, but all the best in retirement to Shane Edwards. And one thing about Shane is fantastic footballer, but even better person, so genuine. I remember one time, my first job out of school, I was working at a cafe, and Shane Edwards and Dave Asprey, of all people, were there in the cafe, and I wasn't serving customers at the time. I wasn't really allowed to, but said to my manager, I said, please, let me, give these guys their food. I'd love it. It'd be great. And he goes, all right, done. You all yours. I remember I walk up, I bring them their smoothies that they ordered, and I made the smoothies as well, so I was pretty rapt for them to try them. I made the smoothies, and I said, guys, I don't want to interrupt your breakfast, but I just want to say, love your work. I love what you guys do on the footy field. Thank you very much. And this was before our flags and everything as well. I remember Shane Edwards, I don't know why, I still get excited about this, but Shane Edwards lifts up his smoothie and goes, no, mate, I love your work. And I'm looking back, it's really a meaningless conversation, but it brought me so much excitement at the time as a young kid as well, fresh out of high school. So I absolutely loved it. So all the best in retirement, Shane Edwards. But back to the Bombers game. Shedder was great. Dion Prestia, incredible, dominated again, and he's another one like Lynch in the right form, right time. 31 disposals, a goal, 10 score involvements, 8 inside 50s. Had 2 behinds as well, both very gettable goals, so he could have had 3 to his name. He was impressive, and then I won't go through all the stats, but I guess Cochin, Nank, Rioli, Daniel, that is. Morris was good as well, but Daniel Rioli especially. Nick Vostone, all looked great. I think a lot of our players are playing good footy. Shea was quiet for his usual self, and he was probably last week as well against the Hawks, but hasn't needed to step up just yet. And, you know what he can do when he turns it on. He did some great things as well, obviously, but he can do some fantastic things. And it's going to be really, really difficult picking a final side. And I'll talk about it, obviously, maybe next week or something like that. But we got Brisbane, first week of the finals, elimination final, up at the Gabba. We've been there before, so it's going to be exciting. But it's going to be really hard to pick a finals team, especially with Dusty likely to come back first round. Jack Graham, you would say, will come back on the side as well. And I don't know who makes way for those guys because everyone was... I can't name a fault in our team at the moment. One player I'd want to get rid of. Everyone just does their role incredibly well. Jack Ross is the big one that his name gets thrown around a lot. And what he did on the weekend, I thought he was absolutely everywhere. And you can't fault any aspect of his game on the weekend. And he's another one that's going to be extremely hard to get rid of. I mean, he had 21 disposals at 95% efficiency, if you don't mind. 14 score involvements, 5 inside 50s, 20 pressure acts. He kicked a snag, a nice one as well. I don't know how you drop a player after a performance like that. So it's going to be very, very interesting come selection time. But that's a beautiful thing to have an issue with, I guess, too many players in really good form. That's exactly what you want heading into finals. It's difficult on the coaches, but as a club, that's exactly what you need to be successful. So hopefully we can have a good role. Good form. We've on 4 on a trot now, which is good. Brisbane was probably the last top 8 team we did get over the top of, so should take a lot of confidence in that going up to the Gabba. We've beaten them up there before in a final. I was up there last time. I'm going to try to get there again. It's going to be an expensive weekend, I think, coming from Melbourne, but I'll do my best. We'll try to get up there and see how we go. But that's pretty much it for the Essendon review anyway. I think it was an enjoyable game. We put a bit of a masterclass put on by a few of our players, Lynch especially, just so dominant at the moment, which is what we love to see. Love going to the footy for that. We want the close games once in a blue moon, but these ones are also just a nice little relief and almost like a relaxation time. So it was beautiful to watch. But anyway, that is pretty much it for the Essendon review. Hopefully you guys are getting pumped for the finals. Organise your plans, where you're going to watch it, if you're going to get there. And just make sure we soak this one in. We're in the elimination final. We haven't been in this position in a long time. We famously don't win these finals. So hopefully we can break the hoodoo of the elimination final and get a win, knock Brisbane out, and we stroll on forward and play either Melbourne or Sydney, I believe it is, depending on who loses that game. So long way to go, but looking forward to it either way. So until next time, go Tigers.